Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Devotion to Writing, the channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice. And also, I hope to help you write more deeply and more freely and to experience the creative abundance that you are. So, sometimes it is difficult to feel that creative abundance, that abundance at all, right? To feel even creative, and especially if we're having some difficulties, technical difficulties or difficulties within the thing that we're writing, or we're faced with this learning curve. And what made me think about this today and to do a video on this today is that I've been trying to do this YouTube channel, and the learning curve is so steep. I mean, there's everything from lighting to audio to the camera to uploading it and etc. So it's been a tremendous learning curve that I'm being faced with. It's bringing up frustration. I'm feeling discouraged in it. And I share that with you because in our writing, it's easy to feel discouraged. It's easy to feel frustrated in our writing, in anything that we hope to create, right? There's a huge learning curve in anything that we're beginning. So painting or photography or writing or riding a bicycle or playing piano or swimming, right? Anything we hope to do and really learn about when we just start out, we are at the beginning, and we don't even appreciate, we can't appreciate all that goes into it. So we're just kind of going step by step, and there's a lot of trial. There's a lot of what we call error, which isn't error. It's just another opportunity to learn. So with writing, as with me doing these videos, I'm trying to I just flip that idea that the frustration and the discouragement, and understand that it's part of the process. And that kind of helps flip that frustration. Like, now I have figured out some audio, I hope. We'll see how this one turns out. But I'm getting better each time I do it. And that's the truth about anything we do. It's the truth about writing. Each time we sit to write, even though we might not feel it, we are getting better. We're learning how to shape the things that are coming through us. We're utilizing language, employing language in ways that we haven't before. It's helping us understand how we want to do this, and it's increasing our ability. This is all an accumulation of our knowledge, of our understanding, of our wisdom, of our talents, our abilities, our toolkit. Each time we sit, we're accumulating more. And this, I want to say though, this doesn't mean that we ever are going to master it. And I think if we're truly being creative in our lives, that we're going to always feel that we're at the beginning. And I think this is really essential, because if we don't feel that way, then maybe we're just stuck in doing things that are really easy for us, and we're not really pushing into new territory, and we're not really exploring anything new at all. So this idea that we're at the beginning, and that there's always something to learn, and that the process itself of writing is something we're learning from, something that is teaching us. This, I think, is a really beautiful way to be able to approach our creativity. So writing is learning. And each time you sit to write, you're learning how to write. I remember I was watching a documentary on Alberto Giacometti, the really wonderful sculptor who, every day he had a practice of going to the studio and sculpting all day. And he was asked in this documentary, why do you sculpt? You're famous, you have made money, your work is shown all over the world, but why do you sculpt and still sculpt? And he said, I sculpt because I'm learning how to sculpt. And so that really hit me, like, wow, this man has been at work every day for decades, and he's still saying, I'm learning how to sculpt. I'm learning how to see a face. I'm learning how to make a nose, to make a cheekbone, right, out of clay. I thought that was so beautiful. I think the same can be applied, that same idea can be applied to our writing. How do I write? I'm showing up to write to learn how to write. I'm learning how I can language what is coming through me. I'm learning how to give shape to it, to give form to it, to hear its music more clearly, and to express that music, to express a story with its tensions and the characters, and learn from the characters, right? We're always learning. Where does this want to go? And how can I, as the creator with it, bring it closer to that kind of initial thing that sang out in us, that said, name me, right? This thing comes and says, name me, give me shape. How do we do it? We don't know. We say, I don't know. We relax. We surrender. We take our time. We take our time and we write. And we learn by doing it. We learn how to tell the story by telling the story. And maybe we have to tell it more than once. And in the telling it and the retelling it and the retelling it, we're slowly learning all its nuances. We're learning its peaks. We're learning where the climax is, right? We're learning where to pause for a minute, where to give it some breath. In a poem, we're learning the line breaks here. If it breaks differently, there's a different music. And how does that music sound? And how does that sound in us? And how do we feel about that sound? That's a whole nother thing to learn. Like, oh, what did that do for me? What did that do to me? How can I produce more of that or less of that in my work, right? What do I need is another thing we can learn. What do I need as an artist, as a creative person? How do I inspire myself? And what brings me joy in this process? And how can I do more of that and get more of that? And by joy, I don't mean, what awards am I chasing? I mean in the process, like what brings me joy? How can I really just learn about how I experience the creative process, the joy and the abundance of creating? And so just keep this in mind, even as, I'm reminding myself, even as the battery on the microphone is going dead and I can't get the camera stand positioned correctly and the lighting isn't quite right? I'm learning each time. And each time we sit down to write, each time we sit down to create, we're learning how to be with ourselves. We're learning how to express what is coming through us. We're learning how to give it shape, how to give it form, how to enjoy this. I think that's a really beautiful process if we can remember that, to relax. You are the creative abundance entering the world, okay? Just, there's nothing you have to do. Enjoy it, learn from it, engage with it, see where it takes you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed me talking a little bit about the process and what can be frustrating and discouraging, but how we can flip that into something that is actually enjoyable, and just appreciate this beautiful thing we're engaged in, which is making, is creating, is fashioning our lives, is fashioning beautiful things in our lives. So again, if you did enjoy this, please like. And also, if you could subscribe, I would love it. The more subscribers I have, the more people will reach. And so please subscribe. And also, you can find more information about the work I do, the workshops I lead, the retreats at devotiontowriting.com. Thank you very much. And I hope you write beautifully and deeply